Grit your teeth and hold your asses, Hivers, for there is no rest for the wicked. The riots that were started by the belated descent of Dagon in the last couple of weeks have spread uncontrolled out of the habstacks of the Underhive and into the Mid-Hivers, threatening their beautiful, nicely displayed tabletops and fancy cheese feasts and all that other shit they get on up to up there. There's a full-on war that's splitting hundreds of hab and manufacturing districts between the Glass Eaters and the Dagons right now. It's pretty bad.
And them Dagons, man.
Because, hey, you know why they call them Dagons?
Dagon.
Because they gone.
They gone.
It's proven to be somebody's life.
It's proven to be a pretty bloody conflict, guys. With the gangers falling back to protect their hoods, they're spreading a little bit of carnage. The four-armed rats have called the first conclave in almost 50 years, calling in all the OGs of the Underhive to the table.
Man, with all those OGs gathered in one place, security forces have been 100% on the warpath, cracking skulls of any cultists they come across. I've heard rumors that both the Warmongers OG and the Splatterhawks OG have open bounties on both cults. So, you know, get them ears, boys. Turn them in. Make a little extra cred.
Yeah, we are holding it down at Mama Bexy's right now, armed to the teeth. And I got to tell you, between the massive plasma cannon that Gabo's fondling over there and the multi-headed rocket beast keeps reloading, I would be a little bit more uneasy if I was outside the club.
So many heads.
Too many
heads.
heads.
So many warheads.
So little time.
Oh, no, I got time.
I'll tell you, nothing is quite as beautiful as that blue-white glow.
Yeah, especially when it shoves your ass clean out through your mouth.
We are your fire team in the winding tunnels of the Sump, the screaming beacon of Vox Free Innsmouth, 665.66 UHMR ChemRat Radio. As always, I am your plasma-brained Grox Herder Goblin King, holding down the fort with my posse of outright scum and villainy. The merchant of power-mauled mayhem himself, Marky.
I call that plasma beast.
The Baron of rocket-fueled ballistics, Beast.
Hello, everyone.
And the crack shot of the long ice causeways, Kev.
Hola, amigos.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
What is that? I expect my scalps.
Ariba's dirt cheap. You can buy.
Can anybody do an
dirt cheap.
Aldo Reigns now that we're quoting him? Can anybody do it?
It's not great.
All right.
You don't have a meetup in a goddamn basement.
Oh, man. I was dating a gal that had a bunch of family from Germany when that movie came out, and we watched it in the theater. And when he did 3 instead of 3, before they even revealed it in the movie, she's like, he fucked up. Yeah, that's the way they do 3. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, that's not how they count to 3 in German. And I'm like, but that's counting. Like, as an American, I'm like, what do you mean? That's fucking 3, bro. I don't understand.
Yeah, it was funny to watch, like, everybody get really confused by that, except for the people who know.
Yep. That's how I learned to count.
Yeah,
like
Europeans
thumb
start
first
with the thumb.
Yep.
Whereas we use
That's
the thumb
crazy.
for the 5.
Yeah.
Unless you count in binary, and then this is 4. That's all I remember. This
How
is
did he
4.
do it in the movie?
He did it like this, and that's how you knew it wasn't German.
Because, like,
Because
a gang
Germans do it
sign.
like this.
Well, because this Americans 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Germany is 1, 2, 3. So if you're at a bar and you want to say 3 beers,
You do
do
this.
that,
Yeah.
not that. And he
It's
did
pretty
this
funny.
in a German bar while dressed in a German officer's uniform.
Yeah,
And
which
then
is
everybody in the bar immediately was like,
a
Wait a
little
minute.
strange. Like, I've heard the argument because they're like, well, how do you order just one? But that's, do you want a beer?
yes.
You
Yeah,
know,
yes.
and
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
one. And be like, if you want a beer, be like, yeah, make it 2. But that's why in England, everybody over here is peace or peace. In England, that means fuck you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a historical reference for that.
yeah.
About
Jog on.
It's your bow fingers.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, are you flipping me off? I'm like, no, I'm counting in binary.
Well, I mean, like in most of Europe too, you point with your middle finger.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
They'll
I mean, you don't point like this. You'd be like, that one over there. You'd say that one.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
almost,
like-
it's like a whole hand, but they curl some of the other.
Yeah. What's his name? The guy who plays That really famous British actor, that guy who plays like Victor in all the Underworld movies. His index finger is like super fucked up. Oh, he plays Davy Jones.
Yeah.
His index finger on his left hand is like super fucked up. So he literally just points like this all the time, 24/7.
Seems so pretentious.
Yeah, I know. And that's what everybody says too. They're like, "Why does he do that?"
Sean's stepdad from Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
It's funny how like, what's the movie you know that guy from?
Yeah,
I know him from a bunch of shit because I actually watch a lot of British movies. But I like
Hot Fuzz?
all the gangs shit from back then.
Yep,
He's in all of them.
He's the constable that sends him out there.
Yeah,
he's like, "You're doing too good of a job."
We'll see what the team has to say about this. He walks out. They're like, "Congratulations," because they all want him to fucking leave.
He makes them all look bad.
You're making us all look bad. Like the way he talks, he always moves his head around.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
He said too. He goes, "They're like, what was the hardest role you've ever had to play?" He's like, honestly, he's like, the vampire from Underworld. He's like, I had a very hard time playing that. And they're like, why? He's like, well, I'm always hissing at people. He's like, I'm always like, and he's like, and it's very hard not to laugh. Killed me, dude. I didn't realize it. I was like, oh my god, he does. Like, he's like, it's an awful.
And he does like a. He does like a weird tick in that with the way that he does that too, because like he finishes and he goes like, at the end.
Well, it's all part of the characters.
Yeah, it's a very aggressive way to end a sentence. It's really cool. Like he's a great actor.
He's a phenomenal actor. Like he's been acting since like forever.
So much so that I didn't realize that all those people were the same person.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair, I've never been one to like follow actors and be like, oh, I'm gonna watch every movie that guy's in because I like that guy.
Oh, I
Mark Wahlberg.
Or directors or anything like that.
Mark Wahlberg.
But then like over time, I've started to realize that like, oh, I do like all of this guy's movies or things like that. But
Bill
at the same time, I don't like all of everybody's things though. Like I have no big following for any specific famous actors or directors.
Mark Wahlberg and Michael Pena. Those two guys, man.
Mark
I love them.
He has 3 nipples.
Mark Wahlberg? Yeah.
Do you know that he's really big in the Midwest?
Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, so we have a chain, not a chain. We've got a lot of Wahlburgers first off. But there's also a grocery chain out here that like predominantly carries his, like he has a deal with them and they're like headquarters here in the city. So like any of them that you go to, all of his like build your muscle mass stuff is there. He has this whole like this giant section. There's a television that just plays and it's just him talking while working out.
The Fruit of Loom ad.
The Fruit of Loom.
Ever since happening, I haven't
him in underwear.
I haven't been able to look at him.
Yeah, so the guy that you're talking about, Bill Nighy, apparently, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
Wasn't that happening a Shyamalan movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
Oh,
it was about the trees. It was about Mark Wahlberg. I can't forgive him after that.
What was the movie?
Happening.
Never seen
Happening.
About,
so that in the Happening trees.
It was fucking
It was pretty awful. So the concept behind the Happening. Kev, move a little bit closer to the mic. It sounds like you're like using an old crappy Microsoft microphone.
I think it's because I'm trying not to point straight into it.
No, well, you turn to the side of it.
Yeah. We're supposed to try
what's going on,
sideways
fellas?
past it. Not
like eating a corn.
Probably sound a little better.
You want to talk past it. You don't want to talk. Yeah.
Cross streams.
Yeah, don't cross the streams. But yeah, the Happening was one of those like the concepts all right, and the first couple of kills are all right, but then like the longer the movie goes on, the dumber the premise becomes. Which you never want the premise of your film to be like that. Like it literally gets to the point where people are like going outside, getting on their lawnmower, and then laying in front of their like. Why would you do that ever? Why?
Yeah.
Well, the plants are making you commit suicide. That's dumb.
Yeah,
You know, when
no,
people
it's
are
like,
shooting themselves. Yeah, it's a
you're
little
all
different.
the idea is cool. I'm like, no, it's stupid. Like, what's that noise? Oh, the plants. I must kill myself. That's what it is.
I must die.
The trees are coming. That's what's happening. The trees are like, and everybody's like, oh, I'm going to kill myself. That's what it is. It's dumb as fuck. I hate it. Stupid.
100%.
Shyamalan did bad, and you should feel bad.
But if you want to come on the podcast and sponsor us, we'll
Still go fuck yourself for that movie. Signs was great.
Dope.
Everything else you've made is dumb.
I like the Village.
Village is the stupidest one too.
I mean, you can only watch it once.
How is the handicapped kid supposed to know to make those noises?
What fucking noises?
The noises of the monster? How does
Why
the
would it? Wait. Why would an alien race that can literally be defeated by fucking water come to a planet that is mostly water, inhabited by a species that's made up of mostly water?
True.
I know. I know.
But they at least stayed away from the water, unlike every other M. Night Shyamalan movie that has stupid shit. No, Adrian Brody plays like a handicapped kid person who can't even speak properly to, I'm going to be a perfect, monster and scare her back. How?
Because he wasn't.
The fucking Village.
No, it was all the Village elders.
No, it wasn't. It was the handicapped kid during like when they were walking around and shit. Yeah, but when he was out in the woods chasing her back, that was Adrian Brody's character.
I thought it was always
No.
just to trade out
No.
who played it.
Adrian Brody snuck in. They threw him in the room because he stabbed Joaquin Phoenix for starters.
Yeah,
dumb.
I remember that.
Then he found he just happened to find under the floorboards the costume, put it on, and then ran out into the woods because she was out there and he wanted to scare her back.
It's been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah. You know why you forgot it? Because it's stupid.
I haven't seen it.
It's dumb. I hate
Shit, it is Adrian Brody.
I know.
I thought it was somebody else or something. Good job, Tom.
Yeah. I have very high passion for movies I don't like.
There you
I
go.
always learn a lot about them, so I can argue with people about it.
So you can chat about it later.
Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea is a great fucking movie.
It was good, except for the fact that I watched it 4 times while I flew to England, and now I never want to see it again.
That's not a movie you want to watch more than once.
When it bites that dude in half and his legs like
Oh
twitching.
yeah. No, it's great. That scene, great. Dope.
I was like, oh my god, I like
He's
that
fucking
guy.
just like slams
all about
into the window. And
it's all about the Samuel L. Jackson speech about how he's not going to get eaten by a fucking shark, and then
Yeah,
he gets
100%.
eaten at the very end.
That's why I love it. They were like, this movie's dumb. We're going to make it stupid. And then like they do it.
It was
like,
great.
Yeah, at the end of it, he's like, 100-foot shark and you shoot me.
Yeah.
Like, that's something out of the whole movie. He's like, 50-foot shark and you managed to hit me.
That was LL Cool J.
That was LL Cool J.
LL
Worst
Cool J.
character choice for that. I would have preferred literally anybody else.
Ice
Should've
Cube.
been-
Ice Cube. I would have preferred Ice Cube.
I just watched Anaconda like last week,
Anaconda. Ice
I'm
Cube
sorry.
saved it.
dude.
Not the worst actor in that movie. That's how bad
We're gonna. Oh my god! No.
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez is the worst actress in that movie. It's okay though. Because
You look
they can
good, though.
remake it with Jennifer Affleck, and it'll be a different film. She'll be better.
Dude, the practical effects in Anaconda.
Oh my god, so bad.
They were.
Oh, dude, they cut the
You
thing
saw
open, and the dude falls out.
Yeah, dude.
I couldn't stop laughing.
My favorite
It was so
thing,
good.
because they did like nature person who knows snakes, like watches this movie, and the snake at one point's like looks at him, and the dude's like, stop. Stop. He's like, snakes don't do that. he's like, it looks like you just insulted his mother. Like,
when the snake looked at
the
something?
snake he says something, and the snake's all and looks at him. He's
It's
all
like growling.
he's all. They don't do that.
It
Like,
was hilarious.
he's all, and it doesn't use its tail
have to
to grab things because he
I'm
like
gonna have to
snaps.
rewatch this movie. Now.
Oh, it's good.
It's
Yeah,
been
dude.
forever.
It's
I
so
saw it in the theater.
Because there's a scene where he says to him, he's like, "Hey, look at here, motherfucker!" And the snake's literally like looks at him all pissed off. It was so good, dude.
Like talking shit.
Yeah, literally, it was like, "Motherfucker, what?" Like, I
All
fucking
right,
loved
nice.
that movie, dude. When I was a kid.
That was a good movie.
It was a great movie.
All
There's
right.
not
Well, I'm gonna
failure.
bring us. What's up?
I was gonna say it was a lot scarier when I was a kid.
I remember it being pretty freaky in the theater.
The only scary part was when Danny Trejo like shoots himself because he's like, "Oh, it's coming to get me."
Dude, when I wasn't a kid, but when I was a like late teenager, early adult, when I saw that film, the fucking tracheotomy scene, like watching that in the theater.
Oh yeah, fuck that.
Oh, yeah, they pull out that big ass plastic bee that's like clearly plastic. He's all a wasp. Like,
oh my god, man! And then knowing that and then finding out later that those wasps are real and live in like California, I was like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah,
Tarantula hunters, those are real.
The one that was inside of his.
They were, even though they don't actually exist.
I didn't know that one was in his rebreather. I thought he had swallowed it. Like,
that's what I thought at first too. But
I thought it.
No, fucking. What's his name?
I literally have to rewatch this fucking movie. I haven't seen this movie since it was in the theater. When did that fucking movie come out? I remember they talk
about the parasites that swim up
96?
Yeah, the Scar. What's his name? Skarsgård is like
97. Nice, dude.
Damn.
What is it? Oh no, it's not Skarsgård. What's his name? Angelina Jolie's dad. What's his name? The guy who plays the villain.
Oh,
John Voight.
John Voight. Yeah, he's all get into your throat. He's like John Voight in that movie is trying to be Christopher Walken so fucking bad, and I don't care what anybody else says. he's like, the big snake. Like,
I've also seen this one, The Hunt for the Blood Orchid. Pretty stupid.
That was pretty stupid.
Seen too much Joe Dirt.
Too much Joe Dirt.
Basically. It has the guy from Tears from the Sun.
That was a good movie.
I love that movie.
That was a good flick.
That was a very good movie.
You know the whole shit with the collapsed lung and the fucking little I forgot what it's called.
Man, this snake looks so real.
Oh, dude, that's
it looks so fucking fake.
So bad.
Oh, that's from the second one.
Okay, collapse lung. Go for it.
But I forgot what it's called, but the little piece that, like, the needle that stabs into your abdomen and, like, it releases the air pressure so your lung isn't collapsed.
Yeah.
Apparently, like, that's super bullshit. Like, you can't run around with that thing sticking out of your chest.
No,
that's like the thing from Three Kings.
Is it Three Kings?
That was Three Kings.
Oh,
Robert.
He doesn't run around with it. They're basically like carrying him.
Yeah.
Oh my bad.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
My bad. I was Three Kings.
Three Kings. They pretty much carry him around. He does not move on his own very much after he gets that little shunt thing put in his chest, and he has to open it constantly or he starts like fucking dying again. That's a brutal part of that movie. That movie's hysterical. That part's pretty brutal.
You like Michael Jackson, my main man? Makes him drink oil. Oh, so good.
Oh my god. All right, I'm going to refocus. And speaking of insurrectionists and the Middle East, we're going to talk about Genestealer cults today. That's a horrible transition. I don't know how to segue those things.
Leave that in. Don't cut that
happening.
Leave it.
It's fucking happening. It's such a bad transition. It's happening. Talking about early 1990s geopolitical things, we're going to go into Genestealer cults.
You like Michael Jackson, my main man? Ovipositor.
Ovipositor.
Boom, face dick.
There you go. That's a much better transition.
Oh my God. So good.
So this time around, we're going to dive into the core of what makes the Genestealer cult function. Over the last few episodes, we have covered the pure strain Genestealers, their connection to the Tyranids, and how the cult might spread throughout a city like a Hive city, including what speculative operatives come out of the third and fourth generation that they use to manipulate members of high society. Today, we're going to refocus and we're going to look a little bit more at the rank and file of the GSC before we take a look at what the Imperium has recorded on both the Genesects and what little history there actually is. These are the parts of the cult that provide the sheer number of fighters needed to overthrow an entire planet. While a cult might have a handful of maguses pulling the strings, they're going to have millions of acolytes, metamorphs, neophytes, and even those neophytes that have been assimilated into entire Astra Militarum or PDF regiments. As the cult grows in power, all of these hybrids begin to make up the massive force that is underneath the Patriarch's control. As with the last few episodes, we will talk a lot about how the GSC affect the Imperium. This isn't because they only threaten the Imperium, but most likely because while the Imperium is far from the superior rulers of the galaxy, humanity probably makes up the single largest and most spread sentient population. To illustrate this, it's important to note that the Imperium does claim to control the entire galaxy as their territory. It's not really that they actually control it all, and we've mentioned this before. The Imperium likes to claim that they control everything, but there's a lot of like Wild West and dark sectors everywhere.
Manifest destiny.
Damn right. If you say you own it, right? That's it.
Yeah, I'm
dibs.
So it's mine. Humanity dibs the universe.
That's humanity. Galactic dibs.
Just sail into a solar system. Dibs.
The Empire of the Imperium and its galactic dibs.
That's really why Martarian was super pissed off at everybody. So he'd be like cleaning something or fixing something. They'd sail into a new fucking solar system, and Robo would just fucking smack him in the shoulder and be like, "Hey, dibs!" And Mortarian would be like, "Damn it, I was reading again.
God damn it,
I missed another one."
Perturabo was tinkering somewhere.
And heresy. It's all the boys who couldn't shout dibs fast enough that got mad.
It was just a big bro culture.
oh my god!
It was just Dorn and Gilliman up there, just like
dibs. So the Imperium, at least from our perspective, also seems to just kind of keep the best records. Although this might be simply because we are presented with the Imperium's side, or at least the Imperium's leanings in most cases. The big reason of that is because, like, obviously we're human and the Imperium is the human faction. So it makes sense to relate to us that way. As we talk through more of the Genestealer cult specifics in the next episode or two, we will likely begin to look at them a lot more through humanity's perspective. I'll say host society sometimes, we'll say humanity sometimes, we'll say the Imperium sometimes. We'll kind of bounce back and forth. But in a lot of ways, as we get into a lot of this stuff, we're going to start talking a lot more about the Imperium. However, when you sit down to either write or brainstorm your own Genestealers, remember you can pretty much do whatever you want. As we do have lore cases that exist of both Orkoids and Eldar being infected, it's pretty safe to assume that any other sentient race that has similar genetic biology or genetic biology that the Tyranids can target, which is everyone, is something you could use. So if you wanted to do a herd Genestealer force or a Skaven Genestealer force or just something like this, or even, they might not be Skaven, they might not be Hurud. They could be your own made up fucking race that comes from your 3 or 4 planets. You can totally do that. There's nothing that says they have to be human. Is the I guess the overall feel, the point.
I was gonna say anything that can fuck, but
yeah,
don't
pretty
fuck.
much.
So.
They can still
Anything that can reproduce.
Yeah, anything
Unless
with
you
a
got
reproductive
squig.
cycle.
Yeah,
Unless you got a
dick
what?
squigs make that happen. Dick squigs.
I don't actually think that's a thing.
What?
Strapped
what
or strap? Why not?
Kevin.
Okay, it might.
You just take the eggplant emoji.
Cycle,
but it helps.
Kevin, you take the eggplant emoji and you put a mouth and eyes on the bottom side of it.
Yeah, you put teeth on it and maybe a tail.
Yeah. By the way, here is your purity seal warning. Still talking about Genestealers. It's still gonna we're gonna talk about fucking, we're gonna talk about gore, we're gonna talk about horror elements. Marky, lay down that sweet, sweet intro for us.
You rang.
I did.
To wage war upon the blinkered servants of the Imperium and the soulless vassals of the Omnissiah is a divine right. They worship a false god. Even in the notion of a single deity is foolishness. For the Star Children are the one true power in the universe, and they are Legion.
So last episode, we covered the majority of the specialized mutations the Genestealer cult uses in order to wage their shadow wars. However, we glossed over an important one, the Reductus Saboteur. To get into that a little bit more before we jump into the rest of everything, just like the Kelomorph, this is a type of third-generation hybrid. They specialize in demolitions. So as to where the Kelomorph is this gunslinger, this hero of renown. The Saboteur is the Irish Republican Army bomber. You know, if we want to look at like television tropes or movie tropes, it's that the dude that sets the car bomb. It's that mafia guy that blows you up. It's that other side of the coin.
What, 10,000 years to build it? Took me what, 20, 30 seconds to knock it down?
Just about to say, is it Italian? Is it Italian?
It's the
dude?
Italian
dude from Atlantis.
Yeah.
What, 4 seconds?
I used to be a florist. Now I like it to blow things up.
That guy's so good.
One of my favorite characters.
He's great, dude.
This is my favorite gif. The gif where he's just like talking about what he's bringing. Paper clips, big ones. Just the necessities: TNT, nitroglycerin, bombs, grenades. So yeah, you know, they're gonna they essentially leverage both sides of the coin. They leverage this legendary freedom fighter, but at the same time, they're leveraging the terrorism card. They're causing mayhem and confusion by sending out saboteurs to blow shit up. These saboteurs are made from the accumulation of the cult knowledge on all things explosive and are extremely capable of creating improvised explosive devices and incendiaries. I think it's important at this point to point out that arson isn't beneath them. They will use arson too. And so you got, you know, an explosive device is going to have a concussion and a boom. An incendiary device is going to spread fire really fast, essentially.
I can't think of a better army. You know, they like to blow shit up and fuck a lot. I mean, it's like, it's kind of who I am.
We know.
Their skill set is so high that they're able to scavenge and build these devices from even the most basic of discarded bits. They can often be found scouring the sumps of the Underhive and trash heaps in order to find their needed ingredients. They bend their skills before all-out war to creating massive stockpiles both of battlefield explosives and booby traps that can be laid in strategic locations that will be activated by the cult when the war itself starts. So they're pretty neat. Just to lay it out right now, so you guys don't think that we're leaving them out, we will be talking about the Atalan Jackals at the very end of the episode as we get into some of the vehicles that the Genestealer cult uses, because that is their specialty.
The Reductor Saboteur really reminds me of the guy from Tropic Thunder. Big ass titty.
The dude who blows his hands off.
It's like the embodiment of the Saboteur. Is just big.
I don't remember.
When he blew up the jungle.
The dude who legitimately blows his hands off. Right? Doesn't he blow his hands off?
No. That's the first dude, like, falls out of the helicopter hands first onto a landmine.
Yeah, they look like octopi, octopuses.
Well, it was Ben Stiller's costume for the movie as Foley, who had his hands blown off.
Yeah, because he deflected a grenade.
Yeah.
No, I swore the demolitions guy in that movie fucked up and like blows up the helicopter and blows himself.
He did blow something up. I don't recall.
He sets off the giant explosion when they weren't filming.
This guy.
Yeah.
The guy.
What did you look up?
The guy who plays Eastbound and Down.
Tropic Thunder, big ass
The dude
titties.
that plays the fucking redneck and everything.
Yeah,
that's risky.
Basically.
Oh no, I knew if I put Tropic Thunder in, it would come up with what I wanted.
Don't scroll down because then it might start deviating.
Yeah. Never go to page 2. Unless you're looking for page 2 content. And then go straight to page 2. You'll find what you're looking for.
Yep.
The Reductus Saboteur is pretty cool. I really like the little bit of theming that they've got going on with it. And just as a quick apology, I always have a real world source when I do all of the research. So real world source for this episode has been they were released in 7th edition and earlier notes for the Genestealer cult in the 8th edition codex. I did not own the 9th edition codex yet when we started. I do now. So that's a little bit on me. So that we didn't mean to leave her out. And I'm saying her because the model line that you can buy now is a her, but she did unfortunately get left out. It's a really cool model. I really like how this model looks.
Yeah, the The one with the fucked up face is pretty brutal.
This one right here, where it's like I had a bad experience.
She cut the wrong wire.
Yeah, right. It was a little too close. But one of the things that, as we did mention last episode, one of the things that makes them good at stuff like this, Genestealer cultists in general, is that like they'll take that blast to the face and just get back up, and they'll heal. Their metabolisms, the gene curse, the gene virus has modified them enough that they are better and faster at healing and all sorts of great stuff. Yeah.
Can you imagine that? Like the bomb squad's guy is like, oh yeah, cut the chartreuse wire, and you're just like, the what? Chartreuse. What?
My favorite.
What fucking color is that?
So cut the blue and black, not the black and blue. And you're like, what?
Have you guys ever played that VR game that you have to? Okay,
shut up.
I was just wondering.
Keep talking.
Did you have a bad experience?
Yeah, I was fucking that game.
I actually really want to play that game.
The game
is it's pretty fun. Played it with my little brother.
Play it with your spouse if you want to know how bad you guys communicate with each other. All right. So the first guys we're going to talk about, now that I left that nugget out on the floor, are the Acolyte hybrids. So the Acolyte hybrids are repulsive, cruel, and operate more like pack animals and predators. The Acolyte hybrid are the foremost disciples of the cult. These are the offspring of those of the first generation of infected, and they make up the first generation of hybrids. They are born twisted beyond recognition from their biological parents, looking more like mutated tyrannids than their biological host species, in this case, humans. However, their parents love them even more fiercely. The infection in their cells molding their unquestioning loyalty to the cult and making them protect these children even more. These guys are too mutated to blend into any level of their host society, and they often seek out and join the Patriarch in the deep or well-hidden layers of the Hive, forge complexes, or derelict space stations that the Patriarch have taken up their homes in. They spread the Genestealer kiss the same way the Patriarch does, but they also have the ability to interbreed with one another. However, just to state, this only produces more Acolyte hybrids. It doesn't produce the next generation of the infection. So if they all get into a big mating pool, which is kind of how it's described, they get into
back in the pile. Everybody back in the pile.
Yeah, they just make more of these. They don't make second generation hybrids. The only way they can make second generation hybrids is through the Genestealer kiss, the same way that the Patriarch does. Acolytes keep a low profile until the time comes, as a high body count often draws the wrong sort of Imperium attention. Those closer to looking like a Genestealer are more mentally linked to the Patriarch and often act as members of the Patriarch's inner coven. If you find some of the pictures of these guys, or if you've seen the units, the box unit on shelf and stuff like that, a couple of them have much more Genestealer look to them, and those are the ones that are just a little bit more connected to the Patriarch. They're going to work a little bit more in line with the Patriarch. While they are savage and brutal like the Genestealers, they do retain more intelligence, and they do retain some of the intelligence and dexterity of their parents. This makes them more than able when it comes to using weapons and other complex tools. All Acolytes have 3 powerful arms, while they prefer melee combat, they won't hesitate to use pistols up close or other weapons as they are closing that distance. When war comes, they boil up and pour across the field, seeming to attack their enemy from every angle. These guys are pretty cool, and they get crazier. So there is a special Acolyte, which is the Acolyte Iconward. So Acolyte Iconwards are the most intelligent and capable warriors of the Acolytes, and they are entrusted with a sacred duty, carrying the cult's standards or colors into battle. Often fashioned by their parents of the first generation, these standards are bright and vibrant, but use the clandestine symbols the cult has used for generations to communicate. So the cult will use a lot of the cult symbology that you see, a lot of the different things that the Genestealers are known for. They'll do things that, think about it, the way that I kind of processed it in my mind as I was going over all this lore was a little bit like the movie Blade, where there's a spray paint on the wall, and it's often it's hidden in plain sight. We see it, but to us, it either looks like a fucking simple spray paint, or maybe it's in a different light spectrum. However, and of course, the other side of that would be true too. Those who are part of the cult, but are not infected yet, those who are hangers-on or followers might get tattoos showing their allegiance. I think, Kevin, you brought this up when you were talking about the Expanse in the last, the symbol tattooed on their neck or whatever.
Yeah, all the OPA guys have their neck ring tattoos, and then in certain places they wear them openly because, you know, they have enough control over that sector that nobody has to care.
Right.
But
and these
they cover them up.
Yeah. The guys that are going to tattoo, the people that are going to tattoo themselves with the symbol to show their allegiance, they're just not infected yet. In general, the Gene Seed cult is going to infect everybody. But there are definitely people who start following the cult before they're infected, before they're mind linked, essentially. However,
to believe in, when like your life is shit, and you have like this really big group of people that take care of each other and love like a higher being, you can get pulled into that.
The Star Children, who offer salvation and a better life after this one. And little do you know that is being slowly digested in digestional pools and then ferried up to spaceship-sized insects. We don't talk about it. Got it. So when the time comes to march to war, these standards are rendered in the brightest colors and fullest details possible. Essentially, as soon as the switch happens, there is no clandestine hiding of these symbols anymore. They're fucking everywhere. And the ones that are carried by the Iconwards are very, very clearly banners and colors. Not only are these banners emblazoned with the cult's icons, but they are strung with many treasures grown from the cult's Xenos biomatter. Glowing with unsettling colors, these charms secrete pheromones produced specifically by the Patriarch. This drives those closest to greater feats of strength, lessening the effects of fear and pain on them. Chitinous blades grown from the Patriarch's own exoskeleton also adorn these banners, holy relics to the GSC that resonate and embolden the warriors who are within eyesight of the Iconwards. These banners can also hold the twisted and stolen artifacts from the host society, debased holy relics of the Imperium, or captured heraldry from a defeated enemy. In fact, some of them, artistically wise, I'm pretty sure have like soul stones on them, which would suggest that the Genestealers at one point captured and killed Eldari, which I think is pretty damn cool. Iconwards are the fiercest fighters of the earliest generations. Not only do they carry the banner in one of their three hands, so they're down one weapon, but they are like a beacon to the cult's enemies. Basically, Space Marines, anybody fighting is going to go after the Iconward because the Iconward is what everybody's rallying around. It's a banner, so people rally to them. The banners have such an effect that the hopeless and looming losses of the GSC have turned into victories simply by banners appearing on the field. So they'll be on their back feet, they'll be losing, and then a couple of Iconowards will step onto the field and everything changes and the other side loses. So we'll talk a little bit more about the cult icons in more detail in our next episode when we cover gene sex and some of the limited history that we have availability to. Probably won't be a full episode. It'll be kind of a short one because there's not a lot of history. There's not a lot of records. There's a lot of history. There's not a lot of records about these guys. But if you're wondering about like the bladed cog and the helix, twisted helix, and some of the other ones, we're getting there. We're just kind of covering all of this stuff. So the next guys are the hybrid metamorphs.
The uglies. Oh wait, no, these aren't the uglies.
These are the
mad acolytes.
These are the first level of uglies.
These are like the corn. These are like the corn berserkers of Space Marines.
Metamorphs. There they are, right there.
Got that tentacle hang.
As the uprising draws closer, some of the earliest generation begin to express spontaneous mutations. Not only changes that make them look even more like Genestealers, but even mutations that seem to be linked a little bit more directly to others in the Tyranid biomorphs in the Tyranid biomass. Another template the Tyranids have. Often this occurs as the Hive fleet has drawn ever closer, but it can also be brung on if the cult is threatened or put under extreme outside pressure. So generally speaking, by the time hybrid metamorphs start coming about, the dinner bell has been rung, the NIDS is close, so that sharing is starting to happen. Ideas of what happens to these guys as far as the mutations: their limbs might fuse into saber-like claws, much like the Genestealer, or they might grow into a sword or that's made of fused bone and chitin. Hands might mutate to end in lashing whips of sinew or into massive crushing claws that can turn rock into powder. I'm picturing, as I was looking into these guys and like reading about the different bioforms and stuff they can do, I was like, oh, these guys can get like fucking Carnifex traits. They get crushing claws. That's nuts. Claws. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Their mouths might be replaced with tendrils or develop acid sacs and maws able to spit corrosives at their foes. So just like Genestealers, they can have that same either tentacly face or acid-spitting face. These mutations are wildly varied and can become even more so the closer the call of war draws. So the closer and closer the Tyranid Hive fleet gets, the crazier and crazier Metamorphs might become. Their hideous appearance is only outshined by the vicious lethality a mixture of Tyranid instinct and their host species intelligence can mix and create. So again, you mix that human ingenuity and just viciousness with outright Tyranid instinct, and you get something that's going to try to rip your jugular out as quickly as possible because it's efficiently trying to move to the next guy. Metamorphs are worshipped as living saints. Their mutations are seen as stigmata granted by the favor of the Patriarch. I think it's so cool how they mixed religion into this shit, by the way. I'm like,
it's crazy, right?
Stigmata of the Patriarch? That's dope. Did you guys see Bob? Bob now has a whip hand. Patriarch really likes Bob.
It's kind of like the Chaos mutations.
Yes, in a lot of ways.
In the same ways that they view their gifts from their patron gods. Yeah.
Other hybrids will
Corn
flock.
Gave you 5 dicks.
Corn gave you 5 dicks?
Corn gave you 5 balls.
No, Corn gave you 5 arms with which to feed off your 5 dicks. Chaos undivided.
Wow. Chaos, there you go, right there. It would be 8 dicks, Kevin. 8 dicks and 8 arms, Kevin. Get it right.
Together they make 8.
Oh, wait, 3 dicks and 5 arms?
No, it would end up like
right, like a weird octopus.
You do the Da Vinci Man, right? Except that with all the extra limbs that did by the Dark Gods, it makes the Star Chaos.
I like it. I like it. So the other hybrids will flock to these guys and worship them before battles and in greater urgency as the violence of the thickest of fighting develops. So these dudes, the Metamorphs will just collect the lesser hybrids to them as the fighting happens. However, even though all of this seems to be for the glory of the Patriarch, this is actually a dormant Tyranid trait that has lain in waiting for the call of the Hive fleet itself. So this is one of the things that the Hive fleet is actually doing, the Patriarch isn't. Or the Tyranid base coding is doing, the Patriarch isn't specifically doing, which I found pretty neat. So the Neophyte hybrids are up next. Actually, I have a question before we move on. Do you have Metamorphs, Marky?
Yes. They look exactly the same as Acolytes.
Did you model them that way, or did you just not choose to use the like blades and stuff?
In the kit they give you like crusher claws and lashing whips and like scything talons, and you just throw those on instead of normal arms, and you got hybrid Metamorphs.
But they look exactly like Metamorphs look exactly like Acolytes. They just have different mutations. Okay.
Yeah, instead of holding like a cult dagger, they'll have like a scything talon or a crushing claw.
Right.
Or like their face will have like the Cthulhu like little tendrils.
Yeah. The Cthulhu face.
Yeah. Yeah, they look almost exactly the same.
I'd like to trademark that we call Cthulhu tentacles Cthulhucles.
Cthulhucles?
Denied.
Is it goddamn Cthulhucles?
Denied. No, he trademarked it.
I just don't like it because I came up with it.
Yes.
He trademarked it on the pod. It's done. It's canon.
Yeah.
Ryan, make sure you delete this part.
I just delete the whole podcast? Cool.
Look at all them Cthulhuicals,
I hate it.
They look all dribbly.
Usually the person that's like, I hate it is Beast. Not you, Marky.
Yeah.
All right.
Cthulhuicals actions.
It's the what's that dude's name? The pedophile guy
Herbert,
from Family Guy. Herbert. It's the Herbert whistle that sells Cthulhuicals.
Cthulhuicals. Come on, some Cthulhuicals.
All right, so the next guys are the Neophyte hybrids. These are the fanatical troops and line infantry of the cult, coming from the 3rd and 4th generations. Such is their devotion that they will throw themselves into suicidal attacks or give their lives to shield the Patriarch and other cult leadership. These are the guys that take on the shit jobs, from doing the brute force labor of stockpiling and gathering resources before the war starts, to throwing themselves into the very teeth of the enemy war machine simply to choke it with bodies. These are the guardsmen, if you will, of Genestealer cults. Hybrids of the 3rd generation are still very alien in appearance, with ridged foreheads, longer craniums, and waxy blue-purple skin, marking them out as mutants to Imperium society, and they can often bear the worst of the Imperium's discriminatory stances. The Imperium is not really positive on anything mutant. They have a tendency to kind of lump everything together into warp spawn and get real angry about it. Hybrids of the 4th generation, however, are often much more like their host species in appearance. In the case of humans of the Imperium, this makes it much easier for them to infiltrate the worker gangs of a Hab district or the administratum hall or the local administratum halls, finding jobs among the rest of the wage slave inhabitants of major hives or even forge complexes. As they most often find a place in mining or physical labor positions, the 3rd generation can find easy access to a massive array of low-grade weaponry, or things that can easily become weaponry, able to work to slowly steal or secure stockpiles of these devices for the cult, while 4th generation hybrids might find themselves more able to move among the black markets of the planet, securing pistols and solid-shot weapons for the coming war. It's also possible that the foot soldiers of the cult might end up serving in the PDF for the world, meaning they may have additional training and even experience against forces of chaos or other xenospecies. This also gives them access to a wider array of weapons to steal or buy on the black market, and often on the day that Civil War splits an Imperium world, the non-cult citizenry looks to the PDF and veteran soldiers for protection, only to see entire companies turn on their brothers and unleash war cries of the Patriarch, even while still wearing their Imperium uniform. Entire Imperial Guard regiments, I'm not saying the other one today apparently, may have fallen to the cult, revealing their allegiance as brood brothers, bringing with them some of the assets of the Astra Militarum. In order to maximize their freedom and ability to grow, the majority of neophytes tend to occupy jobs and places in host societies that are reserved for the lowest of castes, outcasts, and or outlaws. When it comes to the Imperium, they will work in mine gangs as sub-hive pipe workers, maybe somebody who scavenges and cleans the sump, or infrastructure jobs that are a little bit more dangerous, like Badlands maintenance crews. This puts them in a pretty good place when the actual war starts, because they're able to make moves against those very infrastructure hubs that cripple the Imperium, turning the Imperium's own technology into weapons to be used against them. Stories like closing all the blast doors in a hive and then venting all of the air out of that entire district. Stuff like that. These guys are in positions to do that. Or, as I mentioned earlier, everybody's gathering on the parade ground as a PDF to fight this fucking new war, and the guys that are in the very back just open fire into everybody in front of them because they're cultists. It's probably slightly important to mention at this point that while a lot of the Imperial Guard Genestealer cult stuff is still in lore, it may not necessarily be very functional on tabletop. Remember, we are covering stuff from a lore perspective. I know there's been some gripes about that, so I wanted to toss it out.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the Aberrants. So these guys are pretty freaking crazy. And the way that they work is even crazier. And I didn't know a lot of this stuff. You run Aberrants, right? They're kind of like these are the like shock troops. Or not the shock, like the Khorne Berserkers, correct?
They're like the Terminators.
Okay. So they're a lot heavier.
Yeah, they're probably one of the beefiest units in the army.
I like them. I think they look cool as shit.
Yeah,
I really do.
Dope.
I think they're one of the cooler looking units. So
they're like,
inhumanly
Hulk monsters.
Oh yeah, right. Inhumanly strong, misshapen, and twisted even further are the Aberrants. These are an offshoot mutation of the brood cycle. They're dim-witted, much like Ogryn, but they are still extremely loyal and devoted to protecting the cult. What they lack for in intelligence, they make up for with violence and strength. Their single-minded focus used to defend the layers of the Patriarch before the uprising and his devastating shock troops after. Whatever causes this offshoot mutation isn't fully understood. It can be caused by a number of things, such as genetic mutation in the host parents, some twisted inbreeding of the cycle. So we mentioned earlier that the Acolytes just kind of puddle and make more babies. So that could lead to inbreeding, which might breed Aberrants. I like how I was like cuddle puddle. You're like, fuck a lot. I'm like,
yes.
In the cuddle puddle.
In the cuddle puddle, yes. They like Babe Ruth. I don't know. It's weird.
It can also be that medical intervention or experimentation before their birth created them. So one of the parents might be super worried because the thing in his partner's belly and his wife's belly doesn't look like a human, and is like, Doc, you got to do something. And the doc does something, and that's what triggers the aberrant to happen. However it happens, they are born and pretty much immediately seek out the deepest layers of the gene sex. These guys do not stick around for very long. They, they don't outright state it, but I kind of get the idea that before they're full grown and ready to just fucking tear through things, even Genestealer cultists are a little bit like, oh yeah, they're dumb and ugly. We don't talk about them.
Dude, they must hurt
until
coming
they're
out, man.
Right? It could be that they could kill. It could be these could be the pregnancies that kill.
Are these first generation?
Rip.
Or second?
They can be born to any generation. They're basically
it's just random.
They're the genetic flaws of the Genestealer cult birth cycle, essentially.
I mean, you can't really call it a flaw.
You know what's really funny is that of every 40k like army, the Genestealers are talked about the most as far as like how they're born.
Oh yeah, well, because it's a huge part of the way that the
it's really interesting that they took that aspect of their lore and we're like, we're gonna go with that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it's definitely the body horror race. They 100% leaned into the alien concept. The alien, as in capital A, as in the Ridley Scott film.
Species, yeah. As in the capital S.
Or species. Right, as in the capital S. As in the non-Ridley Scott film. Got it.
Yes.
So they will seek out the Patriarch or the Magus for direction. They are given tasks such as undermining future demolition-rich targets, so a few well-placed explosives can bring down an entire hab stack, or digging and expanding massive tunnel networks the cult can use to stockpile supplies and move unseen underneath the Imperium's watchful gaze. They're often equipped with power-assisted mining equipment to make them even more effective. When the uprising breaks, Aberrants charge the field with both claw and heavy mining tools, tearing with ease into enemy combatants and hard targets alike. As a heavy melee fighter, they rely on their incredible endurance and twisted physiology to wade into truly punishing waves of enemy weapon fire, shrugging off the damages themselves while providing a flesh wall for those behind them. It's just such a good lore tidbit. I just imagine like trying to shoot Frankenstein.
Yeah, they're the Rocky.
Don't care.
They're the Rocky of Genestealers.
Well, the Magus is like the soldier dude, right?
What?
The Magus?
It's the Primus. The Magus is the like brainy political one.
They go and report to that one?
What are you talking about?
They go and seek out the Magus or the Patriarch for tasks.
Interesting.
They go to the big brain.
See, I thought it was the other one.
When everything flips to war, the Primus takes over in a lot of ways.
Yeah, there was in the Blood Angels like Genestealer cult movie thing.
Yeah,
the Primus is like, these are my children. Like he's super close to them.
Yeah.
And he leads them
in the middle of battle or like during a active war. Yeah, Primus will fill that.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like the mages like called them mutants, like unclean. Like the purebred Genestealers were like the true, like the purebloods they called them,
right?
And the Aberrants were like the mutants, and they were like, yes, you and your mutants, and that's how she was.
She was saying that to the Primus.
Yeah.
Oh, because Primus sees them as a military advantage.
Yeah.
Where she's like, I'm here to, bring forth the end of this. I don't care about the active war, where he's like, this is a military advantage. She's just like, I'm here to see my babies.
Yeah.
The Magus works much more on like a political.
I'm just saying she didn't like them.
Yeah, it would make sense that she wouldn't.
And it's not that she. So that's their loyalty switch. Their loyalty switch is they seek out the Patriarch and the Magus before the war has started and go, boss, what job? Because that's the loyalty drives them to do that, and then the Magus specifically puts them into jobs that are really, really dangerous and that are really difficult and that keep them as hidden from Genestealer cult society and the host society as possible. So these guys are literally like digging tunnels and shit.
They were basically like chained up. Like, did you ever see in 300 that like one guy that's all chained up and stuff? Mm-hmm. That's basically what they treated them.
Yeah, it makes sense because they're dumb.
Yeah,
because they're going to go and
they're very much described in an Ogre-ish light in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So
they don't want them wandering off and being like, "Oh, where I go?
Job's done, my lord."
Yeah,
I pet the bunny. No, you killed the bunny. Stop trying to pet the bunny.
Dog, my lord.
Right.
Work complete.
Aberrants can also react to the call and the proximity of hive fleets, expressing mutations much like metamorphs. So same thing. They can go through... There are metamorph traits in Aberrants, essentially. While most Aberrants are confined and hidden as far away from prying eyes as the cult can manage, some are chosen by the Magus or Primus to undertake brutal assassination missions, seeking out under the cover of night to track scent signatures of their prey. This is an extremely violent and horrible way to die, as the Aberrant will get close enough to basically detect that scent, and then it just goes on a straight bloody path between where it is when it gets that final scent and where its target is, leaving everything in its wake destroyed.
It's like Kronk from Emperor's New Groove.
Yeah,
it made me think...
Up against the wall.
It made me think of the chainsaw execution scene in Scarface. Like this, you're trying to send... Well, if you send an Aberrant after somebody, you are sending a message. I'm more powerful than you. I don't give a fuck how many people I have to kill you, and I don't care how much gore I leave behind.
Yeah, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That guy was...
Leatherface?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a conversion right there.
That is. Oh, fuck, that is.
Oh my god, dude! Just a giant fucking chain axe,
dude. That
and like, really and he's like wearing pieces of like other people's faces because he doesn't want to look like an aberrant. Nobody likes me when I'm the aberrant. They only like me when I put on the mask. What's that fucking Batman quote?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Nobody cared who I was before I put on the mask.
That was Bane. Yeah. I think that was Bane.
Nobody else.
It was Bane. It was Bane.
Till I put on the mask.
Nobody cared. I didn't like
just
that,
watched.
I did.
Hot take. I didn't like those movies.
I did.
I wasn't a fan. I mean,
I didn't like that they fucked up Bane's story, but
that too.
Yeah.
I see. That's one of the beauties about not actually being super connected to any of the
comic
stuff. I just watch it and kind of.
I was annoyed because it was the whole like is like, oh my God, there was a child born in the prison. Oh my God. And then they're like, yes, it's Bane. And you're like, oh my God, he's going to tell him it's Bane. And then Batman's like, it's you. And then all of a sudden they're like, no, you put it in my ass. I'm the bad girl.
It's like, but
it was me.
Right.
And it was like, God damn it.
But we totally had sex.
Yeah. That's why I was so mad.
Right.
Like,
It was all a cruel ploy.
Yeah, it's like all of this lead up to
That's
being
the
like,
way
oh
to
my
twist
God,
the
it is
knife.
the Bane story. They got it right. Oh, no, they fucked it.
Cruel ploy.
They literally fucked it.
Sign me up
at the
for
last
it.
minute.
Ass mouth bitch.
We watched it a couple of days ago, and our puppy is incredibly hyperactive and often chooses violence. So I was doing Bane for the puppy yesterday, and I was like, nobody cared, or what was it? What'll happen if you take off my harness? It would be very painful for you. Like, it's just all of those fucking lines that are like, dude, seriously, come on. That was the creepiest thing you could think
I
of.
preferred that to what it would have actually been.
I just think the college.
If they would have done it actually like it would have sounded like Antonio Banderas. I'm not mad about it.
Yeah. Oh no, definitely.
Yeah.
Not. He's a luchador.
Yeah, basically. He's not a luchador, but he's Spanish.
No, he's a luchador.
No, he's not.
Is he?
Bane?
Yeah, he's not a.
Man, you guys know a lot about Bane.
Pretty.
I was pretty sure from those movies
me.
he was an ex-IRA operative, because that's kind of how they painted him.
Oh.
Thought he was. Maybe I'm thinking of something else.
Bane was the child of a woman.
Are you thinking of Loco?
Prison?
Maybe.
And Bane became basically he was a prisoner his entire life, and that's how he became so like powerful.
Interesting.
And
Now I'm gonna have to look up Bane.
Yeah, well, I mean, of course, the drug, but he was the thing about Bane that they don't talk about is that he's a genius.
yeah.
Like
he's a
Bane is like
tactical
ridiculously smart.
Yeah.
It comes across in the movie because he's always like 10.
He's
fucking 10 steps ahead of everybody.
He is like insanely intelligent and incredibly eloquent, and that's what always like. That's what I hated about the Batman and Robin, like Batman Forever one, is they're like, Bane, monkey work, ooh, Bane. I'm like, that's not Bane. Like that is a crimson of Bane.
Yeah.
That is an aberrant of Bane.
So speaking of aberrants of Bane,
Yeah, I tied that back in
Banes of aberrants.
You're welcome.
The next one is the thank you, the Abominant. So I'm gonna try to do a Hive voice. What do you guys think a Hiver sounds like?
Wait, the Abominant? I thought he was.
No, this is just some dude on the street.
The leader.
Oh, the leader aberrant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've got a quote, and I'm trying to figure out.
Smoker's cough, Hiver.
Smoker's cough, Hiver. So the lumberglatch, they call it. I heard tales enough as a lad, and I always put 'em down to flights of fancy, just like the hooded Mazels tell you to. Since last night, I damned sure know it's no story. We saw it. Dogged Lazo and I, shuffling in the cathedral drum like it was lost. Then it saw us, and it weren't lost no more. It got Laws. Tore him limb for limb while I went for help. That was Zagon the Scruff, a recyc vendor. These misshapen wrecking balls of mutated muscle and overlapping chitin are the champions of the Aberrants, capable of wielding massive weapons like they were nothing more than a human child's toy weapon. Abominants are cultivated from the Aberrants, starting out their life cycle in much the same way. However, Abominants are often chosen from those Aberrants born late in the cult cycle. So, as I mentioned earlier, Aberrants can be born at any point. We also mentioned that Aberrants can be made. One of the other ways that an Aberrant can be made is the biophagus experimenting on Acolytes. That's another way that you get Aberrants. Once an Aberrant is chosen by the Patriarch, a Mindworm familiar is grown just like those other familiars that we talked about, and it's released and sent in to infect that chosen Aberrant. These familiars implant the Aberrant with a portion of the Patriarch's own biomass in a similar method to the Genestealer kiss. However, in this case, the ovipositor is rammed deep into the Aberrant's toughened skin. So there is nothing that this is just a violent attack. It comes up and it goes, ah, and it sticks it. It's just a violent attack. This process begins the mutations and gene cursing that changes the Aberrant into an Abominant. This is a long and painful process taking several nights as the Aberrant's body is twisted and reshapes. Its form going through a rapid process of gigantism, with their hides and bones shattering and reshaping over and over again as they swiftly heal, becoming bigger and even more brutal over time. I imagine looking at a lot of the art and even the figures that part of this, like, their skin rips and regrows is why they've got extra blades and like chitin bits, and they just look more twisted than Aberrants. And I imagine a lot of that happens during this process. So even after this change is complete, the Mind Worm Familiar doesn't leave the new Aberrant, but continues to act as a conduit of the Patriarch's direct will. So I believe in the model on the base, the Mind Worm Familiar is there, correct?
Yeah.
You put him on the base or you put him on its shoulder or whatever.
Yeah, I believe it was a separate, like, it used to be a token, like a familiar token, but you can just throw it on the base. Yeah.
But now it's there. Oh, okay. They look neat. This is another one of the models that I'm like, dude, these dudes just look dope.
Yeah.
And the artwork looks dope too.
They are gnarly. It's like Frankenstein's, like you said.
Yeah.
Flesh golems.
These are also seen as chosen saints of the Patriarch by the Aberrants this time, and Abomiants lead their lesserkin into battle, shattering enemy lines and hard points with brutal melee attacks, often utilizing simple but extremely destructive tools, such as mauls and power hammers. Like a freight train of muscle, rage, and exoskeletons, these brutes are the fist the Patriarch wields to break even the hardiest of foes. That brings us to the Atalan Jackals.
Brap, 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 brap,
Brap, brap, jackal.
There you go.
Yeah.
Done. Summed up.
Don't need no clicks. That's just the shit. Just gotta get it.
You guys summed them up. We don't even end the episode. Thanks for listening.
Get it.
Just full send, baby.
Yeah, full send, bro.
Atalan Jackals are 4th generation neophytes who form the outriders of their gene sect. They roam the corners of the host planet in search of new regions for their cult to infest. In many ways, they are prospectors. Did I say that right?
Prospectors.
Yep.
Prospectors.
Prospectors. Yep.
In many ways, they are prospectors. Not of rich veins of minerals, precious metals, or fossil fuel deposits, but of the bounty of human life. To the cult, that resource is the most precious of all.
So these guys roar across the wastelands, throughout the tunnels underneath the city, or even across the packed battlefield like a pack of hungering wolves. The Atalan Jackals have the uncanny ability to find the best positions from which to strike, using their dirt cycles and wolf quads to maneuver through the wastes, hive blocks, or forge chambers with preternatural ease.
Yeah.
This is done because they've got a mental link, which allows them to perform in perfect concert. Like the way that this reads is like fucking Blue Angel pilots that fly super close to each other. I just see that's
like
how these guys ride.
Top
but
Gun, but
they're doing it on instinct,
dirt
not
bikes.
training.
It's Top Gun. Dirt
Yeah, and on dirt
There's
bikes.
a beach scene and everything.
Yeah. I was talking about them as the rock hoppers from Mad Max.
Yes, definitely. The buzzers are
No, the rock hoppers.
the buzzers are the guys.
Buzzards are
they
the
different?
spiked car guys, the Russian guys. The rock
Right.
hoppers.
The rock hoppers are the guys that drop
Yeah,
bombs.
they have
or whatever.
the rock crawling dirt bikes.
Yeah. So these guys flying blithely and heedlessly down dark tunnels or in tight formations no other riders seem to be able to match. They have nomadic lifestyles, and these serve the Jackals well with the establishment of the Imperium because they act as agriculture, mining, or other resource-needed prospectors, just like Marky said. They find themselves well blended into the very machine that they're working to undermine because they can find easy work as scouts and recon forces because of their exceptional eyesight and skill at outriding. Jackals often use the extremely abundant Atalan pattern dirt cycle and wolf quad, as these are often shipped or SDC manufactured in great quantities by the Minotaurum across the vast multitudes of the Imperium's many worlds. So the reason that they are the Atalan Jackals is because they use the Atalan brand bike or the Atalan brand quad, which I thought was pretty cool. I did not know this at all, by the way. I thought this was dope. So the Atalan pattern is extremely robust, customizable, and durable, able to take a lot of abuse while continuing to run for decades, if not centuries. While the dirt cycle is a formidable option for carrying tools, light equipment, and recovery or rescue supplies, the wolf quad is an even more formidable workhorse because it can be combined with the destructive tools of industry, such as mining lasers, seismic cannons, and incinerators. These are all very easily capably modified into weapons when aimed at people.
Yeah, that's damn.
Mining laser going to cut through you.
Oh, I actually just saw something that's very relevant to this the other day on YouTube or something like that. But it was somebody took a ballistics gel hand and put it through a CNC laser.
How'd that go?
Yeah.
Why?
With the hand lost. It was like a.
Well, of course the hand lost.
It was to show like what happens, and it was like instantaneous. Like there was no like, oh, you'd have a second, you'd feel it and pull away. Like, nah, it would go right through your hand, and that's the end of the story. Like full on lightsaber.
Oh yeah,
straight through.
it cuts through you.
What, the rock laser?
Pretty damn have you seen the
like a CNC laser?
Oh,
a CNC laser? Have you seen the water jets cut through?
Yeah,
like,
I've seen those
steel
do
and
it
shit?
too. Yeah, and I've seen the same thing.
Your body's not gonna do well with that.
Yeah, industrial equipment's no joke.
see, I like the Goliath Mauler more than the Atalan. Like
Atalan Jackals.
Atalan, not Atlan. Atalan?
Yeah,
Atalan. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Atalan. There's an extra A in there.
Dude, that helmet.
I just thought it was cool.
That really,
Yeah,
it
that
was
one.
really-
I just thought it was fucking super neat that like that because I kind of wondered. I'm like, why are they called the Atalan Jackals? Like Jackals makes sense, but Atalan, I'm like, I don't understand. And then it's like it's essentially saying this is the Honda.
Yeah,
game.
yeah, exactly.
Because that's just the
Yeah.
it's dope, and the way that they put it together is super cool.
Still really mad.
So-
Don't get those.
I know, right?
Stay mad.
Well, they
Yeah.
would be able to if you think about it, because it's just a mass-produced FCC
Exactly.
item of the
Exactly.
Imperium.
Yeah, but
There's no
Rough
reason you
Riders.
it's not
couldn't
an Imperial
make Rough
doctrine.
Riders.
Rough Riders.
Look
Yeah.
up Goliath. Look up a
Legends.
Goliath Mauler.
What are you talking about?
Have you not seen a Goliath Mauler?
What the fuck is it?
It's the bike that I want if we were to have our Necromunda gangs.
Oh, yeah, I know which one.
I'm
you're talking
riding
about.
around on this
Yeah,
bitch.
thing.
The fuck?
We just
yeah,
It's
thing
not
right
that
here.
one. It's the picture on the bottom left.
It's the other version of
The
that one.
up. No, go back.
It had like a wheel.
It has a wheel in the middle, not a saw.
Top left.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Same,
yeah.
That guy.
different front.
Got it. Yeah, these things.
It looks
things
just
are
like
dope.
your.
I know.
Your
That's
snowmobile.
I know. That's exactly why I was like, "Oop, that one."
When I saw the pictures come out, the first thing I thought of was that looks a lot
Yep.
like your
That's why I want it.
your ride.
I was like, I made one of that. I
Looks
made
like-
one of those in real life.
Yeah, it looks like Metal Slug.
So much like the widespread ambiguous las gun, Atalan branded machines can be found all over the settled human and worlds in abundance. They are viewed as an extremely reliable workhorse that is even deployed to the very edges of the Imperium and beyond. So these things are fucking everywhere. They're going to be on every settled world, and they're even going to be out in the black. They're going to be in the places that rogue traders have just gone a couple of times because they're easy to assemble, they're easy to maintain, and they can be dropped off. In
Oh, you
bulk.
could probably fit like 4 of those in a Valkyrie with like no modifications
Right.
to the Valkyrie.
Right. While some field generals are tempted to dismiss jackals as extremely well-trained and coordinated light cavalry, many carry hidden and extremely powerful mining charges. This gets back to your rock jumper comparison, making them capable and devastating to even the hardest of armored targets. Comparable to focus and skill of Imperial assassins, the Jackal Alphys is the undisputed leader of the pack, leading their pack in scouting out new locations for the cult to spread or places to set as future ambush and stockpile sites. The Alphys coordinates recon data for the Magus, Primus, and Nexos. While they are extremely capable leaders, they are also content to work alone, embarking on lone recon missions that might need a finer touch. Capable of being out for long periods of time in the harshest of conditions, their alien physiology helping to make them absolute peerless scouts. So these dudes can be out in the worst sun, in the worst radiation, in the, little to no food, little to no water. They're just able to just keep fucking going. They have even better eyesight than jackals, better memory recall, and the innate ability for cartography. It isn't uncommon for a Nexus's war room to be covered in extremely detailed, hand-drawn, and scribed maps that have been made by
Mark
the
would
Alphas. Their eyesight also makes them fierce snipers and trackers, able to bring down targets at extreme distances.
I would probably be an aberrant.
I have a feeling Kev's going to make an Alphas, a Jackal Alphas, or probably a Jackal with the plan to go to Alphas. But when they do lead their pack, an Alphas coordinates them much like a calf, much like a pack of canines stalking larger prey, harrying their target with rapid strikes before moving back just out of range of retaliation. So just like the way that like wolves hunt, they're going to nip at the calves and the hindquarters, and they're just going to wear that target down until they can take it out. Often an Alphas and their pack can be seen as the turning point in a battle, coming out and picking off prime targets to throw the enemy defense into absolute disarray. Before we get to the Achilles, Ridgerunner, thoughts on the Atalan Jackals?
Awesome.
That they look cool. They're some of my favorite new.
Yeah, I think Tom's
subs.
buddy, he had a really badass idea. He had a kit for the Atalan Jackals, and he put one of the bikes on the back of his Lehman Russ. It was sick.
Oh yeah,
He like strapped it to the back of a Russ, and it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That guy's dope, by the way, Tom. I really like that guy's kit matches.
He gets into things very hardcore. This time next year, he won't be anymore. But
you think so?
Oh,
He'll be into something else.
So I'll get his models. Don't worry.
There you go. So I picked up the Atalan Jackals to be the Rough Riders for my night house, and I might be changing that. I've been looking at some other options just to make them feel a little bit more nighty. The bikes are cool, but they're like, when I took them out and started doing the first levels of the kit bash, I'm like, these are smaller than I thought they would be. I thought they would be a little bit more robust. So I'm actually thinking about doing the new Space Marine bikes. Although now that some of this stuff is coming out for Honda, maybe not. Maybe I got some other ideas and stuff to do to do the Outriders for my night house. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, go back and check out some of the episodes that we did on my Skaldmar World's lore, because I talk about my night world and why they use bikes to get around. Although at the same time, Atalan would make a lot of sense lore-wise, because Atalan shits everywhere. I don't know. I gotta make some decisions. I gotta think a little bit. All right, so the Achilles Ridgerunner. This is another extremely useful and widespread pattern vehicle used by the Imperium. The Achilles Ridgerunner is common sight on many, many worlds. Again, this is something that the Minotaurum is going to produce in massive amounts, and it's going to drop off on planets that need it. This could even be something that a planet has the SDC directions to build themselves. This might not be something that they have to wait to be delivered, or they might have to buy through commerce. They might just be able to produce it. While these aren't designed, just like the Atalan vehicles, for military use, like many of the vehicles that the GSC favors, they have been proven in their versatility as extremely effective scouting and rapid deployment platforms. They come standard, armed with a mining laser for a utility and a heavy stubber for fending off local fauna or opportunistic scavengers and bandits. They make perfect long-range exploratory vehicles. They allow a small crew of Imperium servants to seek out new mineral deposits or other needed resources from the safety of a light-armored and needed mobile camp, if that's what they need. In the hands of the GSC, a mining laser can be used just as easily to tear through armored plates and fleshy targets, however, while the vehicle can be outfitted and customized with other offensive weapon options very easily. While they can stand toe-to-toe with other lighter platforms used by the GSC's enemies as scouts and outriders, I'm guessing these things are probably like they'll be able to take down a sentinel level, possibly another type of light armored vehicle.
It's essentially a technical.
ATVs and stuff.
Mining lasers, dude. I fucking hate mining lasers. They suck.
The vehicle. Yeah, the vehicle itself. The vehicle itself doesn't have a bunch of armor. It's going to get taken out
I can usually kill about 2 of those.
Yeah.
Probably go toe to toe with the Chimera. Probably.
Yeah.
Depending on who gets the first hit.
The true strength.
What's that?
Depending on who gets the first hit. I feel like heavy bolters from the Chimera would probably just go straight through that, lore-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's not really
I think heavy bolters and heavy stubbers are about the same. No, heavy bolters are stronger.
Yeah.
Even bolter shells are bigger than heavy stubber shells.
The heavy stubbers are like 50 cal.
Heavy
Yeah,
stubbers
heavy
are
stubbers
50 cal.
are 50.
Yeah, they're
Regular
50
stubbers are roughly 30 cal. And then bolters are...
Bolters are, they
0.9.
start out, well, yeah, they're 0.9 caliber.
And then heavy
they get smaller, but or
they're
bigger.
not necessarily. Is a heavy bolter actually larger?
No.
The ground?
It's 100. Yeah, the heavy bolter fires 100.
Okay, so
caliber
slightly larger
round.
Oh shit!
Slightly larger. Yeah. Anyway, the true strength of the Ridgerunner is much in the same as the strengths of the Jackal. They range well ahead and outside of the cult's current area of influence to secure ambush points, resource drops, and avenues of attack or retreat well before the civil uprising begins. However, a Ridgerunner can be driven by neophytes or even acolyte hybrids. It doesn't need a special driver, a special guy. A Jackal doesn't have to drive a Ridge Rider. A Ridge Rider allows you to bridge that gap between experience with technology, essentially. With their heavy chassis and robust suspension, Ridgerunners are also excellent platforms that are well suited to exploring war-torn and bombed, ravaged cities. As the Achilles saying goes, the driver will give out well before the Ridgerunner does. I like that. That's like the company's slang. Like, yeah, the driver's gonna die before the car breaks. You're just saying, all right, Goliaths.
When the call to war finally comes, the cultists use the heavy-duty work vehicles as makeshift battlefield transports. Though not as swift or robust as the more militarized transports, these vehicles can be deployed in abundance, while their various industrial fittings can be transformed into brutal weaponry.
These things are cool too. These things make me think of the APC from Alien.
Yeah, a little bit. They make me think of that freaking vehicle that killed Benny on Total Recall.
Yep.
The one that Benny was driving, and he's like, Benny!
Yeah.
I think of that one more.
I can definitely see that. I think I may have changed my opinion. I think that's where they make me think of too. So Goliath trucks are rugged transports designed to shuttle workers of all kinds deep into the forges, crypt complexes, and mining tunnels of the Imperium's many worlds. Designed to be rugged and tough even in the more extreme man-made environments that exist all across the Imperium. So these things are a generic workhorse vehicle for transporting workers in their Goliath stage. They've got a common variant, which we'll talk about here in a second. While a cult will make use of any vehicle that they come across, none is more sought after than the Goliath truck. It is easily customizable with ample stowage, and they are acquired through both normal and extremely nefarious means to be outfitted to meet any of the cult's various needs. Goliaths are so common across many Imperial worlds that it is not out of the ordinary to see columns of the vehicles moving throughout population centers. I kind of get the idea that they're used like buses or, like a factory bus, essentially, like a coal bus. This is your coal bus.
Yeah,
everybody climb into the Goliath. We're going to take you to the mine.
It's the Herkimer Battle Jitney.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? There's a dude who made one. He 3D printed a Herkimer Battle Jitney and was like, it was his Goliath.
That's dope.
Yeah, when I was training in Missouri, they used to ship us around in like a modified horse trailer. They put benches in a horse trailer, and that's where we would. Yeah, that's how we would move around.
That's ghetto.
Oh yeah,
I like that one. I like that.
Anything you can move people in.
Yeah, that one's
that would be like Blanchitsu style.
Oh yeah, 100%. By the way, if you guys are wondering what we're reacting to, if you join us over on Patreon for just $3 a month, you can see a video where some images of what we're looking at as we're going through all the different lore. Some other extra goodies as well. We'll talk about more of it later. So Goliaths are also often tied down with extra equipment. this is just Imperium Goliaths. So it's not really that uncommon to see ones with tarps or ragged worksite drapes over the top, meaning that the cult can hide a bunch of fucking extra weapons or troops under those drapes. Even the cult symbols and other stenciled markings can be easily mistaken for just general under Hive and lower caste graffiti that often covers such machines in work gang territories anyway. So, those symbols that mark it out as being a Genestealer cult, and we'll talk about this more as we get into the symbolism at the beginning of our next episode, but those symbols at the beginning, before the shit has hit the fan and that switch has been flipped, nobody sees those as being, oh no, there's an enemy force here. They're just fucking graffiti. They're just seen as fucking normal gang graffiti. Yeah. Goliaths often pass completely unnoticed until their hatches are thrown open and war-painted cultists or acolytes lean out and begin firing into the crowds lining the streets. So a common variant of the Goliath is the rock grinder. This is equipped with a massive drill dozer plate that has drills and rock grinders that are used to churn through rock as the vehicle hunts for the richest of mineral seams. While these can also easily pass as just another work vehicle, when the time of war comes, the cultists behind the wheel will drive the rock grinders directly into the enemy, chewing up soft targets into giblets of splattering gore and even slamming into armored foes.
Fuck you, Benny.
In both cases, the Goliath can be modified with other weapons of war, from flamers and stubbers to mining lasers and rocket launchers, used to flatten bloody roads through the enemy as the cultists follow in their wake.
Ultimate bumper car.
Yes.
Right. So as we wrap up today's episode, we got a few questions over the last couple of episodes from the community. And if you are interested in becoming part of that community and also asking us questions that we will address in the episodes, head over to Discord and jump in on some of our lore conversations. We've got a bunch of stuff over on Discord that we'll go into in detail in the future. But if this is the first time you're hearing about our Discord stuff because you don't listen to our plugs at the end, we have a Discord community and you should join it. So the community question that we got came from a Patreon, from a patron.
A Patreon
came through yes, it's so weird. It's patrons use Patreon. There we go. And Semi asked us, what happens to a cult if a Primarch is killed before the Hive ships arrive and no other Genestealer is within range on the planet?
You said Primarch.
You are correct. What happens to a cult if a Patriarch is killed before the Hive ship arrives and there are no other Genestealers within the community or on the planet? So my answer to that right off the bat is that one of the Acolytes is going to go through a metamorph process and become a Genestealer. The other thing that I think is super important to point out is it would probably be extremely unlikely that there wouldn't be other Genestealers around, because usually there's a couple competing to become the Patriarch. And if the cult's been around long enough and fourth generation infected exist, the fourth generation, or not fourth generation infected, fourth generation hybrids exist, the fourth generation hybrids are giving birth to pure strain Genestealers. Yeah. However, his further question was like, okay, well, what about like directly, what if there are no Genestealers? There's nothing left that can take over. And I think that probably what would happen is that the remaining cult forces that the mind link would break. I think the broodmind would shatter. I think anything that wasn't powerful enough in either the aberrant, in either the acolyte or neophyte range would turn on each other, or they would form like little tiny gangs. And that would honestly be a really cool lore idea. Just, through happenstance, the 4 or 5 Genestealers and the Patriarch happen to be killed, maybe in like an industrial accident. Just fucking randomly happened. And you've got like maybe 50 Genestealer cultists of various levels of the gang that are just kind of out and about, and they band together because they have to. It's all they know. The broodmind's gone, but it's really all they know. And then they just become a gang, and that's the way they are. I also imagine that because the biological effects have already happened, those that are infected are still probably giving birth to whatever. And those whatevers are sleeping with each other and making more whatevers. So you'd have a beleaguered population, but it would be potentially sustainable. That would be my thought. I think the other side of it would be if the Imperium did it on purpose, the Death Watch would probably go through eliminating every other cultist they could find. What do you guys think? What are you guys' thoughts on what happens after a cult?
Basically, if they're getting at where like all leadership strains are killed or whatever, like you assassinated him or whatever it may be, I mean, it would just buy time. Eventually they would come back. It's not I don't think it's not like cutting the head off the snake. You know what I mean? Like, I know that would probably be the mentality of it, but I'm sure just over time, these are the guys that are the king of the long game, so over time something would happen.
Yeah, well, and that would make sense because of the way the generations work too. That's a good point, Tom. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's their thing. That's their thing. Their thing is the waiting game. Right. So
eventually a Genestealer would be born.
It really just depends on how long it would take another Genestealer, like a proper Genestealer, to end up showing up. Because, like, if you kill the Ant Hive queen, that Ant Hive has a way to make another queen. Yeah. But, it specifically has to be orchestrated to do so.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Right. It takes time.
If the Patriarch was able to issue an order of some kind, in its dying breath to trigger an evolution of
I wonder if the broodmind
or something.
I wonder if the broodmind sends out a signal when it shatters. That's a cool idea,
right? To trigger something else to take over, or whatever it would do. Or if it would,
or even call local Genestealers, hey, if you're a couple planets away, we need help.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I think
that's a neat idea, Kev. I like that.
I mean, everything that we're saying is all speculation.
My speculation.
My
could not find
opinion,
anything in lore.
yeah, exactly. There's no hard facts on this, so it's a pretty good question. But personally, what I think is if a Patriarch is found. Then the Imperium most likely knows about it.
Right.
2, if it dies, most likely there's going to be some type of psychic backlash between the Magus and the Broodmind. But you got to think that they're not under mind control necessarily directly from the Patriarch. It's something that is mutated into their DNA, their way of thinking, and it's a religion to them. So it's just something that's going to keep getting passed down, and eventually. After the 4th generation gives birth, they're going to give birth to more Genestealers. So one of those Genestealers that's newly born will become the Patriarch.
Yeah.
So
I think if it's gotten to the point where there's a Magus involved, and the depiction of a Magus that we have is a female, at least in the newer sculpts, that Magus would immediately probably turn, because she's a female, the 4th generation. She'd be like, all right, let's have a baby. Let's have a new Patriarch right now.
Yeah.
Let's get it done. Come on, boys.
Everybody in the pile.
Everybody in the pile. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to come from her either. But
yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, that's basically
they're a pretty robust, mutation. I don't think they can easily just, like Tom was saying, you can't just chop the head off a snake. They're more of a, what do you call it, a hydra? Or
exactly.
Basilisk,
yeah.
Whatever that thing is that just keeps growing heads.
You cut off one head, it'll have 2 more.
Yeah.
It's hydra.
So I that's just my personal speculation. You really
I think there's go ahead.
I was going to say, you really have to just kill all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to eliminate. It's like orc spores. You have to get rid of all of them meticulously. I do see that there's a lot of cool lore ideas, lore kernels, story foundations in that question, though, because I think we all kind of had different reaction to it. I honestly, I think it'd be dope to make a Hive gang that's basically just orphaned Genestealer cultists that are banded together.
That would be dope.
And again, maybe, if a generation is 25 to 30 years long, yeah, of course, and whatever, 190 years or 180 years, a Genestealer is going to be born, and then that Genestealer is going to become a Patriarch. But you've got that time, as Tom said, that you've bought time for yourself, but you've got that time where you can tell a Genestealer ganger story, which is pretty neat, I think, anyway. All right, guys. Well, we'll be back next episode with a conclusion to our Genestealer cult coverage, taking a look at the few scant details the Imperium has managed to record surrounding when and how the GSC rose to be a galactic threat. Before we cover several of the well-known cults, a talk over their banner designs, colors, and specific doctrines. We hope you guys have enjoyed this so far. I definitely have to say there are so many good horror writing prompts sprinkled throughout this faction and their codexes, even in how just to write horror stories that link back up to the Tyranids itself. I mean, that there's enough kernels here to really just explore some really, really creepy ideas. And I love that. That's what I love about that. That's one of the big reasons I love Warhammer 40k. And to have such a pillar actual grimdark horror faction is awesome. Everything else kind of flirts with it. These guys are just like whole hog 24/7. Speaking of lore, you can share your Genestealer cult tales or questions and comments with us. You can reach out to us by email at underthehiveofmadness@gmail.com or jimdarkgaming@gmail.com. You can also become involved in our Discord community. I mentioned it earlier, but we'll mention it a little bit more in detail here. Over there on that community, we talk over lore, we share our own lore, we talk about how to write stories, we dive into different episode ideas that we're kicking around, we talk real-world horror story stuff, we game. It's a pretty good way to connect with all of us.
Yeah, it's pretty much, most of us are on there, especially recently. We've all been very, very, very active, except for Mark, he sleeps, but... we've all been very, very active on Discord.
One of us has to. You can also keep up with our hobby progress. Tom's been posting up his nights. Marky's been posting up Blood Bowl stuff. Kev's eventually going to paint some bears. It's pretty good. You guys can connect to us a bunch of other ways. Not only do we have a website, underthehiveofmadness.com, but we are also on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We have links to everything, including the email addresses, down in our show notes. So we are trying to make it as easy for you to find us as possible. If you like the podcast and you want to see us grow, please like and review us wherever you get your podcast fix. We are on Spotify and Anchor. Those are our home bases. But you can also find us over on Apple, where we have But you can also find us over on Apple, Google, Stitcher, CastBox, and many, many more. If there's anything specific you guys want to listen to us on that I haven't gotten us over to yet, you can email us directly and request it, and I will try to get that done as fast as possible. The other way that you can help us grow, arguably a much more direct way to help us grow, is to join us over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/underthehiveofmadness. All Patreon members get access to a video version of our podcast episode with some extra bonus content, as well as a bunch of audio visual things that are going on. We pull up essentially we pull up Google Images and I search for stuff as we're talking about it. Sometimes I put in some little extras, we put in some GIFs and some extra little tidbits, but we try to give you a visual experience of the stuff that we're talking about, just to help you guys kind of get that visual side of the story.
Get it from both ends,
That's right. All right. There's other stuff on Patreon. So the other things that you can get involved in on Patreon is you can get registered, or you can get access to be registered in our painting contest. We hold a painting contest 4 times a year. Our next one is coming up, and it is October Halloween-y themed. By the way, just like last year, we are angling towards doing a month of spooky. We will not hit our month of spooky disorganized in the middle of a faction this time around, though. So we will release a little bit more details of that as we get into September. But yeah, this is a great time to join our painting contest. Head on over at that $3 mark. You get access to all that stuff. At the higher levels, we ask some questions of our patrons as far as the next direction, the next faction we're going to cover, as well as questions that you guys might have about how we would write lore, or questions about us, just general stuff. And then at even higher levels, you can get access to some art assets and PDF assets that we are constantly working on to try to release you guys some cool content based on some of the stuff that we've released through the podcast. We are also working on some RPG rules to run role-playing games in the Warhammer 40k universe using the Savage Worlds Adventurers Edition rule set. So check all that out. Well, gents, I have to say, I'm on my 6th or 7th plasma pack, and I think I'm going to make a pretty big haul. Although, I'm not sure what I'm going to turn in on these guys to the Warmongers or Splatterhawk OGs, because I'm not really leaving a lot. You think they take burned, tattered robes?
Toenails.
I'm sure there's some fingers you could grab. You might have to look in the corner.
I mean, if I started shooting lower, maybe I could trade in ears, right?
Toenails.
No. Aim higher and just bring the whole foot.
Oh, also, there you go. Toenails and a foot.
Yeah,
the whole. Yeah.
Do they pay by the pound or is it like per appendage? Because
I mean, you know how these bounties work.
I've heard if you're turning him into Marky, though, he'll accept buttholes.
Yes. I put him on a string and wear him around my necklace, or wear him as a necklace.
I thought you practiced kissing with him.
That was in confidence.
While they're on the necklace. It's like a rosary. You pull it up.
Yeah, you gotta
wish me
practice all the time.
Moves to the next butthole, and
that was in confidence.
Look at that chocolate starfish right there.
However it shakes down, make sure that you stay inside or heavily armed, as this riot doesn't seem to show any signs of slowing down. I don't know. Full on cultist civil war just seems to be the thing that this month ordered up, gents.
I like to call them my little soggy Cheerios. Mwah.
You're still on that. Always bringing you the finest of audio quality. We are Vox Free Innsmouth, 665.66 UHM on ChemRat Radio. Join us next time. Same ratty attitude, same horrible jokes, same time slot.
Mwah.
Motherfucker.
Oh my god. Don't. It's
killed him.
There's allergies. Don't kill me.
Allergies and assholes.
Some say the true strength of the four-armed emperor is in that most of the upper hivers will never believe that they actually exist. Motherfucker. No, am I going to get a fart noise? I want a fart noise.
I don't have any farts.
Huh?